How's your father? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. No, it's not the euphemism for a bit of hanky-panky, slap and tickle, hide the sausage, but rather a legitimate inquiry in relation to Harry's wife's father. We know Harry's wife is a hypocrite. Goes with the territory as a consequence of her being a narcissist. She will say one thing and do another because it's expedient to do so, governed by her narcissism, which will pursue the prime aims, irrespective of contrarian behavior or hypocrisy. Because of the compartmentalization of narcissism, what happens in this moment is not related to the next moment unless the narcissism decrees that it should be. In all other circumstances, therefore, the narcissist can say something at 9 a.m. and say something completely contradictory at 9:15 a.m. and doesn't see any problem with that because the narcissism blinds them to it. They'll either deny saying the thing earlier or suggest that circumstances have altered. Either way, the narcissist is allowed to be that hypocrite. Similarly, with Harry's wife, she is allowed to say things which are not borne out by her actions. And Amanda Platel of the Mail Online has picked up on this in relation to Harry's wife's recent attendance at the Harry's Wife Games in Dusseldorf. Platel writes, "How refreshing it was to see Harry's wife join Harry in Dusseldorf at the Invictus Games, his wonderful sports competition for injured veterans from the armed forces. It was the first time in 4 months Harry and Harry's wife had appeared together at an official event, and their loved-up performance told a different story from those rumours that their marriage is in trouble. Though she arrived 3 days late, lack of accountability, she received a rapturous welcome at the Games' family and friends party, apologising and saying she'd been tending the children back home, getting milkshakes, doing the school run, facade management. Made her sound just like any old homespun American mom, which for someone with nannies, a security detail and housekeepers on tap was a bit of a laugh-out-loud moment. Indeed it is. Of course, Harry's wife's brand of narcissism fails to pick up on the fact that everybody will go, hang on a second, you've got a staff that helps you. Don't try and make out like you're really busy being a domestic goddess. It doesn't hold true. Platel continues, but then the whole emphasis of this event was family, so fair enough. She mentioned the importance of family in the rehabilitation of wounded soldiers, which is perfectly true. She proclaimed, "I'm really proud to be part of this Invictus family with all of you." And Invictus is certainly something to be proud of. But all this family talk had me thinking, what about her own family? I don't mean the Monty Shitshow branch with Harry and their children. I'm talking about her frail father, Thomas, the man she turned her back on, who paid for her private education and looked after her when her mother Doria Ragland mysteriously disappeared for years during her childhood. A father who has never even met her husband, Harry, or, heartbreakingly, his 2 grandchildren. And what about the royal family she married into? The one she accused in her vicious and calculating Oprah Winfrey interview of being racist and cruel to her. The one which since her marriage to Harry has seen an insurmountable breakdown between him and his brother William. Not to mention his fractured relationship with sister-in-law Kate and his father King Charles. Indeed, this week was the first time the royal family failed to post a birthday message to Harry. When Harry's wife parades her virtue at Invictus and mentions the importance of family, I can't help thinking of the family members she has slighted, and I can't stop thinking how hypocritical it seems. It doesn't seem hypocritical. It is hypocritical. Harry's wife's narcissism functions in a way that it caters to everything that she requires, which means, therefore, she can smear her extended family, she can ignore her half-siblings, she can disengage from and turn her back on her father. And she can do all of that because her narcissism tells her that she is allowed and entitled because those people have been horrible to her in some shape or form. Her narcissism rewrites history to cause her to genuinely believe that those people have done ill towards her, with the consequence that she is allowed to smear them, shelve them, disengage from them. Furthermore, her compartmentalization then allows her to talk about family as if it's the single most important thing on earth and that she has always abided by putting family first. She does not stand there thinking, I know I've shat on my in-laws and also my father and half siblings, but fuck that, I'm still going to talk about family. She simply doesn't consider it because the narcissism does not allow her to do so. It puts it on the back burner. It makes it, in effect, disappear. The problem for Harry's wife, as I've mentioned before, is that there are lots of people who have seen the way that she has behaved, have recorded the way that she has behaved, and now, when she comes out and preaches about family, people go, get lost. Don't talk to me about family, missy, after the way that you have behaved. And this is where her narcissism, although effective in the moment, keeps causing these collateral consequences. In order to manage her facade and assert control and draw fuel, she gives it the old big un about family, which in the moment might work, but thereafter people turn around shaking their heads and rolling their eyes, saying, who is she to talk about family? Indeed, even now her father has issued another plea to be allowed to see his grandchildren, who he has not seen in 5 years. She has disengaged from him, no doubt smearing him to her husband so that he accepts that it's acceptable that he has nothing to do with his father-in-law either. Ordinarily, someone would say, well, surely the children should get to see their grandfather, but no. And despite his attempt to hoover her, indirectly, by once again going to the press and issuing a pity play bleating about how he's been treated, although he's correct, he has been treated unfairly, do not lose sight of the fact that it's being done from his perspective to try and assert control indirectly over his daughter, and once again, she has roundly ignored him. She doesn't contact him to explain why she doesn't want anything to do with him. She's not going to bother with that. She doesn't bother issuing a statement generally about it to indirectly assert control over him. She simply ignores him, continuing what she has done before, because that takes very little effort from her, and she is not occasioned by any sense of conscience, guilt, or remorse. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.